Hi, everyone. Let's talk about visibility. And say I want to talk about visibility on Facebook because it's where I've built my biggest audience so far. And it's where you can see a massive move in your audience very, very quickly by just following certain steps and going through the process to bring those customers into you. So I just want to go through a quick thing about what I've done and what you can do to apply it. So I didn't want to go out and spend a fortune on ads because I didn't have a huge budget when I started my business. I'm a single mum. I had to think about paying for things for my son, and I just didn't have that huge budget. But as I was going through and learning about stuff, I learned about Facebook groups and I learned about the value of getting involved in Facebook groups. And also, if you do want to pay for some advertising, there are some groups where you can pay to promote in there, and they're very low cost for huge coverage. And so I've done some of that in some places. In some groups, I've got lifetime deals in so that I can promote forever, and it makes my life just that little bit easier. But Facebook groups are, in my opinion, the best way to get yourself out there, to get yourself seen. I would always recommend to people to start their own Facebook group because I think if you have your own one, you have your own audience, you build yourself up as an expert, you get that reputation, and you actually can have somewhere to send people. It's a lead magnet. You can also have a school group as a lead magnet, but either of those will work. Facebook group when you're on Facebook is slightly easier to get people into because they don't have to go to a different platform and they're much more likely to sign up. But the people who join your school group will be a lot more qualified. So it's swings and roundabouts of what you prefer. But today we're talking about Facebook, and if you had your own Facebook group, would be something that could be really beneficial. So the first thing to start with if you're on Facebook is your profile. Whether it's on professional mode or not is not relevant. It's about making sure that your profile is optimized for your business. So ensuring that you've got your banner that represents your business, that shows what you do, that can draw people in, and you can build that connection. And then you want to make sure that you've got links on your profile. So the links to your business, the link to your website, the link to, if you have a free group, the link to your free group, wherever it is, should go on your profile. Your profile should show who you are. And it should be really, really important when people come to your profile, they see your business, they see what you do. And it's like a business card, essentially. So your posts should also reflect your business. And that's not to say you can't have some personal things in there, because I do share some personal things about my life and about my son and the things that I'm up to. But the majority of your posting should be around work and showing what your business does, giving value, promoting, all of those different mix and engagement posts, all of that different mix that can pull people in. And then you can go into Facebook groups. And this is where it becomes about a numbers game. And the amount of time it takes you to build your visibility will depend on the amount of time you spend in other Facebook groups. And I always say I'm in quite a lot, but you don't have to be in lots. Start in 2 or 3 Facebook groups where your ideal audience hangs out, and start to put really good quality value posts into those groups. They don't have to be anything around promotion. Remember, you've got your profile all set up for that. So if you're putting value, people will check out your profile and they will see your business card. And that's why it needs to be there. But put the valuable posts in. Make sure they show your knowledge, your expertise, and you're sharing wisdom and things that are going to help people. And at the same time, when you're in those groups, go through the questions that people are asking and help answer them. Give support, give valuable comments. And this doesn't mean go through and go, oh, well done, or yeah, I love that, because these are just meaningless comments that people are just going to glaze over. And whatever you do, please do not use AI to do a comment, because usually it just summarizes the post and gives you feedback of what's in the post, which I find, when I get them, I find very, very bizarre. I'm like, why would you just mirror back to me what I have said? And they very much sound like AI. So my advice is do not use AI generated comments. Put valuable comments in. So if someone's asking a question, answer it, show your expertise, support them and help them. And that's going to help to build your profile all the way along. And if you put valuable posts in groups and you get people liking it, you can go through and either send a friend request or an invite to like your page through the likes. So you're starting to build those connections. You're starting to bring people into your world. And then you think about, okay, how can I get people engaged with my content? Because people say, oh, I'm just talking into the void. No one hears me. Well, when you're in these Facebook groups, one of the things you can do is add some engagement posts. And on Facebook, these would be the color block posts that you use. And ask a question in those. People love to answer questions about themselves. They love to share their knowledge. They love to share their experiences. So click in with people, connect with them, ask those questions, and add that value so you're connecting with them. Because what happens as well with the algorithm on Facebook is the more that you are seen, the more your posts are going to be shown. So if you are adding engagement posts and people are answering your questions and you're getting back to them and you're building relationships with them, you've got double fold. So one, you're building relationships. So that's going to help to bring clients into your world. And two, you are building an audience and a following, and you're ensuring that more of your content will be seen. So you're starting to kind of build that profile up. You're getting more people liking your profile. If you have a Facebook group, you can invite people into your Facebook group when you're building those connections. So it's about sending people over, connecting with them. And I'll do another video in the future where we'll talk a bit more about Facebook groups, how you can use them and how you can actually benefit from having a Facebook group. But this is more about raising your profile, because then as well, you can start to DM people. I am a very much against cold DMing, and I think it should be warm and semi-warm DMing. So people you've had contact with already. So for example, I will send a message to everybody that joins my Facebook group. I don't consider that a cold DM because they've joined my group. I'm thanking them for joining my group and I'm introducing myself to them. So it's not I've just picked you randomly on Facebook and I'm going to send you a message because I think maybe you might be of interest to me. I tend to ignore those kind of DMs, and I suspect that the majority of people do now because we get so many. But it's about building connections with people. So you're commenting on people's posts and they're commenting on yours and you're having conversations with them. And then you can take those conversations into the DMs. So you're building a stronger relationship and a stronger connection with those people. And just thinking about ways in which you can do that, spending your time doing that. And when you start out, if you're new in business, I think one of the things that we have that a lot of social media has been blown out of proportion. People sort of have created this image that you can go onto social media, you can do 2 or 3 posts, and all of a sudden you're going to blow up, go viral, and everyone's going to know who you are. I don't want to burst your bubble, but the chances of that happening is very, very slim. The people who have big audiences on social media, who have big followings, who have a great audience, have great engagement with their audience, they do a lot of work on social media. So if you're doing it yourself, you should be thinking about 50% of your day should be spent working on content, connections, building that visibility, doing the work needed to put yourself out there, being brave and putting a picture of you on Facebook, because the clue's in the name. It's called Facebook. People want to see your face. People connect with your face. People connect with who you are. So start putting your face out there. You're not going to do yourself any harm by people seeing who you really are. You're much more likely to build greater connections when people can see that they're dealing with a real person. And yes, do you know what? Real people stumble over their words. They don't look perfect in every picture. And that's where you get the real connection, because people start to say, well, that's someone like me. I can see a bit of me in there. And it's the same with going live. And, I think it's a kind of, I can't remember who it was that said it. It's a really famous coach who said, go live, and I'm doing this on YouTube. No one's going to see your first video. No one's really going to see your first 100 videos, because people are like, oh, I don't want to go on live. Everyone's going to think I'm stupid. I don't want to go live on Facebook. Everyone's going to think I'm useless. I think the first time I went live on Facebook, I think 3 people watched it, and that's only because I said, I went live, can you watch it? Tell me what you think. And I messed it all up. I didn't realise that when I'd clicked live and it was still saying you're not live on here, but one bit said it was live and one bit said I wasn't. I didn't think to check on my phone and I didn't know if I was live. So I started and I stopped and then I started again. But the people who watched it said, oh, you were really great. You were really confident on camera. I was like, oh my God, I wasn't. I was so terrified. But the only way you get better at doing something is by doing it. And it's one of those things where you're never going to be confident going live until you've been live loads of times. And I always tell people about this story about one of the times I went live in my Facebook group. I didn't realize, like, when you do it on your phone, if I wanted to turn my phone, I wanted it landscape, but I had to turn my phone landscape before I went onto Facebook Live. Anyway, so I turned my phone landscape and I thought, why am I sideways on the phone? So I did the whole live, and then I watched it back and I realized that I'd been sideways the whole time through my whole live. I did also discover that you can then go back on there and switch it afterwards, which was quite good. So I didn't have to worry about that. But it's so, these mistakes happen. It didn't stop people connecting with me. It didn't stop my audience actually listening to what I had to say. And it didn't stress me out. Now when I go live, I know I'm never going to make that mistake again because I've made it. And that's part of the process. We will make mistakes. We will not prepare properly. We will have really bad internet connection on some days. Things will go wrong. I've since they've changed the rules of going live via Zoom, it's been a nightmare, and I've had the computer crash on me and been late, and all of these things go wrong. But until you've had those things happen, you're not going to know. So anyway, this is a whole nother topic on confidence of going live, and I think I'll do a whole video on that anyway. But this is about getting out there, the way you build your visibility, and this is on Facebook, but this is true on any social media, is you have to keep doing it, and then you have to start building connections. So if somebody adds a comment on your post, you need to get back to them and you need to respond. Obviously, as you get to a certain size, that's going to become harder and harder and harder because the number of comments you're going to get is going to expand exponentially. But when you're small and you're starting and you get an odd comment here, an odd comment there, that's when you really, really, those are the people you need to be engaging with right from the beginning. And then you need to be going to find other people and engaging on their content, building those relationships, building those connections, inviting people into your world. And gradually over time, you will notice that it will boost up. So just a quick rundown of it, because I don't want to keep you for ages. My top tips. Number one, optimize your profile so people can see that what you do. Your profile should be like a business card. It should have your profile picture, your banner, your links, everything. It should all be in there so people can go and they can instantly see what it is that you do. And then you want to go out and you want to create valuable content every day and share it in other Facebook groups where your ideal clients hang out. And this doesn't have to be promotional. This needs to provide real value that people are going to benefit from reading. And then it's getting involved, adding the comments to other people's posts, responding to comments on your posts, and building those connections with other people. And one of the best ways to do that is by adding engagement posts. So the color block posts with interesting questions that ask people about themselves and their expertise that they can answer, and you can then get involved in conversations with them. So it is all about building connections, adding value, and building that base that you can then grow from. So I hope this has been helpful. If you like what I've said, hit the subscribe button so that you can see more, because there's going to be a lot more coming. And also I've put a link below because in my school group, I'm going to be running a 30-day visibility challenge, if I can say it, so we can get you out there and get more visible. So if you want to take part in that, and even if it's not when we're doing it live, that will be available to anyone who joins my group at any point. So you can jump in and start it whenever you want. So the link is below to join that group, and I'd love to see you on the inside. And if not, just hit subscribe and get some more info.